Hey, hey, revolutionaries! Welcome back. This is going to be wrapping up. Just the next couple of set of reviews are going to wrap up the Tron Legacy 3¼ figures, because Friday the movie is coming out, and I am so stoked about it. Today we're taking a look at the Black Guard, and of course, for anybody who remembers the review on the Deluxe Black Guard, definitely. Probably the best figure in that set out of the deluxe figures. On the 3¼ inch, well, we've done Sam Flynn, who I can pretty much guarantee you will not be the best out of these. Rensler, who's pretty good. Clue Sentry, who didn't get a deluxe figure, not that he deserved one. The Black Guard, who we're doing right now. Clue, and then Kevin Flynn. Those two are still yet to come. So far, Rensler's taken the #1 spot. We'll see how the Black Guard measures up. See if he's as good as his deluxe figure was. Packaging, all still the same. It'll be the same through everything else we do. Spin Master there at the bottom. Series 1 here at the top. Will there be a Series 2? Let's hope so. And let's hope that they get better each time. On the write-up, again, same kind of thing that was on the deluxe figure. The Black Guard are Clue's elite special forces. Their physicality and fighting skills are unmatched in the world. Behind their fearsome, faceless masks, they carry out Clue's will with the... Let's start over, shall we? The Black Guard are Clue's elite special forces. With their physicality and fighting skills are unmatched in the world. Behind their fearsome faceless masks, they carry out Clue's iron will over the inhabitants of Tron City. Still not great, but hey, work with me here. Of course, core figures work with vehicles, and I've been asked a couple of times if I'm going to do vehicles. May or may not. Have to see how the movie turns out. Right now, I'm happy with just the figures. But of course, here we've got the checklist. We've got the figure that lights up and fully articulated. Contains 1 Black Guard, 1 base, 1 identity disc, this Cheerio, 2 batons, which I don't know why they bother, and 1 user guide, like so. So everything is set and ready to open. Stick around. We'll go ahead and pop the Black Guard out of his pack and see how he turned out. See you soon. Alrighty. Well, now that we've got the Black Guard out of his pack, there's just a couple of things, kind of a elephant in the room that I kind of want to bring up, and I think the Black Guard is actually probably a good point or a good figure to discuss it with, because we're going to see it at least one more time with these figures, and that is. Unlike the original Tron figures, the original Tron characters, I should say. I mean, first off, their colors, whether it be yellow or blue or red, whatever it was, they were very distinctive. It was one of the things where, the color of the figure really stood out and really gave it some personality. The kind of circuit-boarded lifelines that they would have, again, very distinctive and gave personality to each of the characters. If you remember, Sark, he had kind of that hood that he wore. Dumont was pretty much just sitting in that whatever it was with a big tall hat, and even Flynn, who had the sash. It's something where they were all very distinctive and had a very unique look, between them. One thing that I'm noticing, and it's not as true with the Black Guard, because of course he has his vents sculpted onto his elbows and his calves. On the mask, his face almost has kind of like an insect look to it. It still has kind of the round vents on the side, like Sark's troops did. Kind of got the little nub antenna on there. So the Black Guard is not as bad as someone say like Sam or Rensler or Clue. It's something where with these figures, though, I mean, even with this one, with his sculpting here at the thighs, which is very distinctive, I think that's one of the reasons why the Black Guard is actually such a cool character, is that he's just so distinctive. You can definitely pick him out by the way, he's got the extra things on him that separate him. But again, at the heart, even with the Black Guard, what we essentially have is a black figure. With the deluxe version, you could kind of tell where the sculpting was for the underside of his bodysuit, and you could see how the plates were all layered on there. And it was actually really cool, and it was actually kind of interesting to look at. Being that this is a smaller scale, I don't expect that level of detail, but you really start to realize that you tend to be seeing the same figure over and over. Basically, you're seeing basically a black figure with a little bit of paint on him. And it's only for someone who's really paying attention, or for someone who's really interested in the material, to be able to identify it and say, oh, that's the Black Guard, or oh, that's Rensler, or oh, that's Clue. Otherwise, you're looking at a black figure with some paint on, and that's about it. You don't really get the kind of distinctiveness here in Tron Legacy, at least not as far as the characters go, in the figures that you would have seen from the originals. So, that I guess has been kind of the elephant in the room about these designs and these kind of figures, is that they are kind of same-o, and it is a little disappointing. As cool as these are, and I may feel totally different after I see the movie, but yeah, kind of enough said about that. On the Black Guard, as I was pointing out, he definitely has his own pattern of plates on him. It just seems as though that here you can kind of see some vents on his chest. It looks like it kind of, I don't know, the mold was going a little soft maybe, because it's not quite as crisp here where you can see the holes and everything. Whereas the lines on his chest and so forth are very distinctive, very clear. And these are actually a little bit softer. So, I'm not knocking the figure for it, just to point out. Again, on his head, now his head seems to be made of a higher gloss plastic than the rest of the body. So it does actually look a little out of place, if you ask me. It almost looks as though the head is separate. And I know they did that because it seems as though that the motorcycle helmet, the kind of the metallic glass, whatever helmet that they're going to have on, is supposed to reflect light back, be able to see yourself in their helmets. But I don't know. If it had been more of a matte finish on the head, kind of like the rest of the body, I definitely think that would have helped out a bit. Overall, nothing too unique other than what I'd already pointed out. Though, on the Black Guard, I have to say he's probably the most unique. His articulation, the head does twist, and there is a ball joint also, and you can see it because the neck is actually flat. So there is some movement, but you can tell it's really, when you're looking at the character front on, it's barely noticeable. The arm does come up and out. This one does have a twist at the bicep, if I can get in there. And that's something else I'll bring up here in a minute. But there is a twist at the bicep, hinge at the elbow, twist, and twist at the wrist. The light-up gimmick, which I won't show you just yet, does mean that there's no articulation in the waist or the torso at all. And as I mentioned before, you do kind of miss it when it's not around. On the legs, now I didn't point out on the legs, but really the way the articulation on the leg works is that the ball joint that's inside is on a pin, so this is really just a hinge. And what you literally do is you kind of twist, there's a twist here, so there's a twist here, but there's also a twist in the hip, so that what you have to do is you have to take the leg and twist the ball joint to the front, and then twist that back forward. So I don't know if you can see it in there, but you can see there's the hinge, and the leg will move back and forth on the hinge, but you have to actually twist that hinge so that it comes out and then bends in and out this way. And then you just kind of twist the thigh back to the front so it goes like that. So, not a bad design. I've seen it in other places. Just, you have to kind of know which way it's twisted, which way it's facing, so you don't try and bend it where it doesn't, when it's not lined up, and end up breaking it off. Like, for example, here's the hinge on this leg, but if it was facing forward like that, you didn't pay attention, if you tried to move the leg, it could come right off. So be careful. No, make sure to look if it's not moving. There is a twist at the knee, and then a hinge. Not quite as good a hinge as I would have liked to have seen, but it's still there. Better than the Deluxe. Twist at the foot, and a little bit of a hinge, but not much. Now, of course, the Black Guard, like all the figures, does come with his identity disc, his data disc. And I won't mention about, how the back of how on his back, I won't bring that up again. Talked about that enough. If they just painted the back here, it would have solved just a lot of problems. And he does come with his 2 batons. Now, the batons don't have any kind of pegs or anything on them. So, in this case, you could decide to either pose him holding his disc, like so, or just to be different, I may actually put my Black Guard holding his batons. I don't know if anyone else is going to use their batons at all, but I figured I'd go ahead and put the batons with my Black Guard. And then the disc will just go in the box of accessories. As always, the 3 1/4 inch figures come with their base. Nice little base. Again, I really like the bases. It'd be cool if maybe on here they would have printed the name of the character. But, again, a Series 2 improvement. Something to make Series 2 a little bit nicer. Peg him in. Press on his lights. And there we have it. He doesn't come with a set of wings like his Deluxe figure did. Again, maybe something that re-release for a Series 2, a winged version. But still not bad, and still probably my favorite 3 1/4 inch figure so far from the series. Hope you guys liked it. Stick around. We got the last bit of the Tron Legacy figures to wrap up. And then, guys, I'll tell you now, we've got a Collect and Connect coming up you're going to love. So rate, comment, subscribe, join the revolution. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.